back, Saints in Training. And if you are here for the first time, welcome as well. Welcome to becoming a saint in training. Today, we're going to start the first in a kind of like a little triptych about three women or two women that are in the Bible quite a bit, but get overlooked also quite a bit. So, we're going to talk about the truth of the Mary and Martha story. We're going to get the complete picture. So, we're going to start off today in Luke chapter 10, verses 38 through 42. And this is like the first time that we see Mary and Martha, the beginning of the story. I almost started with the end of the story, but now we'll start with the beginning. All right? So, if you're new here, what we do is we read the scripture. Then I ask you to take a little pause because I want you to let that marinate inside, kind of figure out what sticks out to you. Then I go on and do some points, maybe some practical applications. And you, for your part, leave a comment below. Let me hear what you think. I'd like to hear, if you think I'm wrong or right or want to add to the discussion. All right, so let's get going. This is Luke chapter 10, verses 38 through 42. As they continued, and this is Jesus and his disciples, their journey, he entered a village where there were a woman named Martha, whose name was Martha, welcomed him. She had a sister, Mary, who sat beside the Lord at his feet, listening to him speak. Martha, burdened with so much serving, came to him and said, "Lord, do you not care that my sister has left me by myself to do the serving? Tell her to help me." The Lord said to her in reply, "Martha, Martha, you're anxious and worried about many things. There is need of only one thing. Mary has chosen the better part, and it will not be taken from her." So, pause and give us a second. Let it marinate however long it takes. All right, guys. There's a lot to unpack here. And actually, the next two after this, there's a lot to unpack in all of it. The Mary and Martha dynamic is powerful, at least to me. It's us in a nutshell, believe it or not. I just see this as a modern kind of parable. Because there's a lot of Marthas and a lot of Mary, and not too many Marys right now. And we'll get to more in that in the first place. But we got to I want to look at this practically. I want to see this through the eyes of a modern person, okay? So you and your sister, your husband brings home his friend that he met at the market and his 12 closest friends, okay? Probably unannounced or whatever. And Martha is freaking out. She's like, I've got to cook the food. There's no ye old Domino's. I can't order pizza. It's kind of just crazy. But Mary, on the other hand, she sits at the Lord's feet. And now, sitting at the Lord's feet is an important phrase because when in the old days, sitting at somebody's feet meant listening to the teachings. The person who would be teaching was elevated slightly, and everybody would be sitting at his feet. That's the formal kind of the thing. So Martha's sister, Mary, instead of jumping to and running around like a chicken with her head cut off, Mary just sits down and starts listening to Jesus. She just starts listening to Jesus. And of course, this is so modern. Person who is doing all the work gets ticked that they're doing all the work. Even though it's your choice to do all the work. Feel me? It's like, but I can already hear Mary in my mind saying, well, I didn't have a choice. Everybody needed to eat. Okay. It doesn't really matter. It really doesn't. Jesus comes in, a great teacher and rabbi. And Mary's concerned about worldly things. She's concerned about feeding people, the practicalities of life. She's concerned about feeding people, making sure people have their bread, wine, whatever she's serving, cheese, I don't know, ye old lamb. I don't know what she's serving, but she's running around. Because, let's see, she has Lazarus, who is her husband, Jesus, and his 12 disciples. And Mary. So she has a house full. It would be any female's, I should say, instinct if somebody rolls up into her crib to take care of them and everything. So what she's doing is kind of normal. What Mary's doing is not so normal because she says, to heck with everything else, I want to hear what this man has to say. But here, my point is Mary has chosen to do all the work because oftentimes we do choose to do what we are doing. Things we think, because we think it has to be done right now. Okay? We choose to do what we're doing because our perception is that is the most important. That's what we need to do. We have to do, right? But we can't be happy with that. We can't be happy with that. We got to not only mind our business, we've got to mind somebody else's business too. So Martha rolls up on Jesus and she's like, Lord, tell my sister to get up off her lazy butt and help me. And Jesus says something surprising. He says no. He says no. Basically, without saying it, well, actually he does say it. He says, Martha, Martha, you're anxious and worried about so many things. Many things. Because he's been probably watching her as she's teaching. I can see this in my head. I practice kind of in a meditation where I kind of play a Bible verse in my head. I see this like a film in my head. And in this film in my head, Martha's like a dot, just popping around, here, her head's here, then she disappears and she's over here. She's pouring wine over here, serving the cheese over here, and, this, that, and the other thing. And Jesus is trying to teach and everything, and he keeps seeing Martha pop here and there while Mary's sat right here. Let's look at this at practicality. What does this mean right now? What does this mean in this moment? There are times when we need to be busy and serving. There are times that needs to happen, that has to happen. But how many times have we been busy and we missed a blessing? Like, how many times does that happen to us? Now, chances are pretty good because I haven't heard that the second coming has happened yet. Jesus himself is not teaching at this time, like in the flesh. So you probably didn't miss that big thing, but you might have missed other things. We get really wrapped around the axle about busy making us holy for some reason. Martha always came off to me as being, well, this is my path to holiness. I'm going to do this. I'm going to serve everybody. And then I'm going to get really kind of upset and peeved at my sister who doesn't follow my same path to holiness. We all know that person, and we've all been that person at some time or another. And Jesus says, you're worried about everything. Now later, I think I've already said in a previous video that we worry sometimes like worrying makes us holy. And that's kind of where Martha is right now. That's the truth of it. She's worrying like it makes her more holy. But Mary has been confirmed and confirmed when Jesus says, Mary has chosen the better part, and it will not be taken from her. Busy does not make holy. Sometimes what makes holy is pausing, that Selah, pause and reflect, and being fully present for the blessing and the opportunity that's presenting itself to you right now. You're listening to me and I'm teaching you. Are you sitting at my feet or are you doing a million other things? I'm nowhere near Jesus, but what I could say may turn the tide of your life. Are you truly listening to the people who are truly trying to teach you? That's a big question, isn't it? It's a big ask. Or are you consistently Martha, who runs around and does the busy work while missing out on the important stuff? Well, I can hear the Marthas out there. Well, if I don't do it, nobody else is going to do it. It's going to get done. It may not get done the way you think it should be done or the way you want it to be done. But what's more important? The blessing of the teachings and the blessing of being present in the moment with the Lord, or serving that is his extra piece of cheese. One is temporary, the other is eternal. And I'm not saying that good works aren't important, they are. But we have to be mindful of the moment that we're in. What moment are you in right now? And at church, when you're at church, are you being fully present? Are you sitting at the feet? Are you being there? Or in your mind, because we can be Marthas in our mind too. Our body could be there, but our mind could be all Martha'd up. You know, we're worried. As soon as I get home from church, I've got to do this, this, and this. We got to go grocery shopping, and I've got to fix the dinner, and I've got to do. You know, there's a good reason why the Jewish people said that the day before the Sabbath, they cooked all their food, then they ate the food after, on the Sabbath without having to prepare it. Because they need to be fully present with the Lord. And we're not being fully present if we're distracted by everything or busy making holy. So that's my thoughts. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Comment below, smash the thumbs up button, hit subscribe, hit the notification bell. And as always, God bless.